20 News, keeping you informed with news, information, traffic, and weather, covering Tampa Bay, Florida, the United States, and the world. Now, this is your afternoon news.
I'm Mike Reilly at the Trop tonight at 6. The Red Sox and the Rays go at it, Game 3 of their best-of-5 playoff series. Muck Tuck has our sports coming up. Well, right now on AMA 20 News, we have a guest who is an expert on disaster preparedness. His name is Anthony Kovic, and he has a book out called Emergency Prepping, Simple Disaster Preparedness for the Modern Family. Good afternoon, Mr. Kovic. How are you?
Thank you for having me on, Mike.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you. Now, in the Tampa Bay area, when we think of disasters, we're usually thinking about hurricanes, subsequent storm surge, and perhaps some flooding, of course, too. We also experience flooding following heavy rains, but knock wood, nothing like what happened in Colorado. But it's possible. So how do we prepare a family for flooding or any disaster?
First, people should be prepared in understanding flooding water is extremely dangerous, especially if it's moving. A roadway with moving water, and when you go through that kind of water flow, you will be dragged into wherever it's going. So you must be extraordinarily careful when driving through water that is moving. Avoid it at all costs.
Yeah, and keep an eye on the kids, too.
Absolutely. I mean, today, a lot of people you see that go through moving water find themselves in a ditch or other areas because they can't see that the roadway has given way. There's very little, pavement on the road, especially in out-of-the-way areas. There could just be a couple of inches of gravel, and they can't see that the road was taken out by the water. So now you're driving in, you think there's a road, but there's a ditch. So now they're inside water, and the car is filling up with water. What do? You need to have, like the glass breaker as well as the seatbelt cutter, just in case you cannot unlock yourself and get yourself out of the door.
That's a good thought. We had an incident a couple of weeks ago where a child was stuck in an upside-down car in a pond, and they needed a cutter to get him out of the seatbelt.
They're very inexpensive. They're around like $10. If you live in areas where there are a lot of lakes, a lot of water areas around your drive to and from work, school, etc., you should have one of those in the car, especially if you live in those specific type of areas.
I think most people have hurricane kits in and around Florida. Is that part of being prepared?
Everything we do is part of preparedness. We no longer live in a cave where we have to go run for food whenever we're hungry. So we prepare. We have refrigerators and stuff. So preparing is just a matter of preparing a little bit longer term than our normal weekly or biweekly scheduling of groceries. So providing ourselves with food that will not spoil for, let's say, a 2 or 3 year period that you can stock up on, have enough for the entire family for a good 2 weeks or so in order, just in case you're told to evacuate or everybody just rushes to the supermarkets, clears everything out, and when you get there, there's nothing there. You want to not get stuck in that situation.
Think ahead.
And it doesn't take that much. Literally, you could, with $10 a week in buying canned goods, dried food, you can actually buy, with $10, around 10 pounds of food, specifically in the soup category.
Right, something's going to keep. We've been talking to Anthony Kovic, preparing yourself for disaster. Where can we get more information from you?
You can get more information on emergencyprepping.org. There's a ton of stuff for all areas, from whether it be flooding, fires, wildfires, tornadoes. There's all kinds of stuff that will be including chat as well as podcasts of anything that you need to know and the kind of products you should consider having on hand and being prepared for.
Excellent. Thank you for all these reminders. We appreciate it, Mr. Kovic, and thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Anthony Kovic, preparing yourself for disaster. AMA 20 News Time, 444.
I'm Chris Curley. Tomorrow morning we'll update you with the latest on the government shutdown. Plus, we'll tell why and where Walmart